Once upon a time, there were just 5 notes, and somehow we now have 12. So this is a story of how we got from there to here and why it even matters. So let's dive right in. My name is Mark, and this is my studio tips and sound advice. The first person to create a conscious instrument with multiple notes, as opposed to just an animal skin drum or horn for blowing, would have had to make a conscious decision as to which notes to use. Maybe the first ones did not, but they probably would not have proved popular, and so we can assume someone did at some point. And when they did get it right, well, it all began with the pentatonic scale. You see, there is a reason why this is often referred to as the mother of all scales. It dates back over 3,000 years. Penta means 5 and tonic means note in Greek. This is still a widely used system in music everywhere, from Japanese, Chinese, Celtic, and perhaps closer to home with a lot of blues and rock guitarists. And it is widely accepted that it has been consistently discovered by multiple groups throughout history because, well, it works. If you have a piano or a keyboard to hand, just play the black notes. That is a pentatonic scale, and it contains no semitones. You see, semitones, when played together, sound unsettling. Now, the feel that this creates can be good for adding suspense and punctuation to music, and this is the case for modern scales, but people have not always written and wanted such music. That is also relatively modern. And when I say modern, I mean history judged in centuries rather than millennia. Anyway, back to the pentatonic scale. How did people with no access to a tuner, no knowledge of sound wave frequencies, and no books or YouTube to refer to, come up with such a scale? We know multiple civilizations developed systems of tuning their instruments to a pentatonic scale independently of each other. And well, this is simply because it is based upon naturally occurring phenomenon. Now, the simplest stringed instrument of them all is the harp. And we know harps have been around for a very long time. If we consider the simplest, most basic harp of just 1 octave, then it is possible, just using your ears, to tune all the other 5 strings from the first one alone. But how do you decide on the notes for the strings? If they are not tuned, learning it would be impossible, and you would find all those in earshot of your attempts to learn voicing their displeasure, or maybe just cutting the strings. Well, the first job would be to tighten the first string to produce a nice clear note. And this note by itself does not matter. Standardized tunings, the like of which we use today, would not be a thing for many thousands of years. Instruments just had to be in tune with themselves and any others that wanted to join them for a jam. But back to the harp now. We have one beautifully sounding string. Not too tight, not too loose, and it generates a good clean sound when plucked. 1 down, 5 to go. Now, as any string instrument players among you will know, along with you others who I'm sure just as learned, if you lightly touch a string and pluck it, at certain places you will produce a harmonic. Like this. On any string, the clearest and easiest to produce harmonic can be found halfway along the string, and the note produced is 1 octave higher than the string it is played on. So we can now tune string number 6 using this note. And so we have the top and bottom strings 1 octave apart, in tune and sounding great. We are 1/3 of the way there. You can also get clear harmonics at 1/4 and 1/3 of the way along the string. Now, you may not be in possession of a 6-string harp, but you may still have a 6-string guitar. Feel free to follow along. The 12th fret is halfway, the 5th fret divides a string into quarters, and the 7th fret gives you a division of 1/3. Now, the note produced at the quarter is, you might have guessed, or heard if you've tried it, 2 octaves above the first string. so this is not of any use to us right now. But the harmonic at a third along the string or the 7th fret gives us a brand new note to play with. This we can use to tune string number 4. I know you can see where this is going, so to cut a long story short and save you all getting too bored, I will summarise the rest very quickly. If we pluck a third along string 4, we get a note to tune string 2 to. Then using string 2, we can get a note for string 5, and finally string 5 will give us what we need for string 3. Now, I'm sure you've all noticed that the new notes are often higher than the tunings of the strings we are tuning. But we just need to tune down. I'm sure this does not prove too difficult for you to overcome. And any ancient harp maker or player would have been more than capable of overcoming this minor hurdle. The reason it likely stopped there is that after this point, new notes we create using harmonics start creating strings that only have a semitone difference to the string next to them. Something we use all the time now. But those ancient societies were not so keen on such things. And so they stuck with this, and the pentatonic scale was born. I'm not saying that no one tried to make alternative harps with more than 5 different notes to a scale, but they just never took off. Maybe the public just wanted 5 notes. They were, after all, simpler times, but maybe they just couldn't make it work. And considering it took so long to progress, it was definitely a tough note to crack, as it were. Although this method was probably the way it was originally discovered, once it became widely used and well known, well, musicians would have been able to tune by ear, just as you do nowadays. As you are more than aware, today we divide the scale up into 12 equal divisions and choose 7 of them for a scale. So how did this come about? Well, the next stage of the journey comes next week, when we finally get to the way we do things today. But this was the story of the mother of all scales, the pentatonic. Leave any thoughts and comments in the section below. Have I missed something? Let me know. If you found this useful, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you get notified when the next video is ready for your enjoyment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.